No joke, I'm Ajay Fry. April Fool's Day is unique, as most Western holidays revolve around exchanging things like gifts for Christmas, candy for Halloween, and for Valentine's Day, STDs. On April 1st, or April Fool's Day, we exchange pranks, gags, or practical jokes. It's the poor fool's holiday, and for two big reasons. It's still free to share jokes and laughter, and because the holiday originated with foolish people. As a noun, the word fool indicates a person who acts unwisely or imprudently, as in, "What a fool I was to do this!" Or as a verb, it means to trick or deceive someone, as in, "He fooled them into believing he would be a great president." That's not an April Fool's prank either, and if you don't believe me, Google fool yourself. If you do, you might find this classic foolish presidential quote.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you." If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
April Fool's Day began with a mistake as well, at least according to the most popular theory. Back in 1583, then Pope Gregory XIII introduced a new calendar to correct a mistake in the previous calendar that had been in use since 54 BC. Over the 13 centuries, the vernal equinox had slipped to March 10th, and the church wasn't sure when to celebrate Easter anymore, or something like that. Honestly, the Wikipedia article isn't exactly clear, and admit it, you probably started zoning out around the time that I mentioned Pope Avery XVI. April Fools, it wasn't Pope Avery because there never was a Pope Avery. It was Pope Gregory XIII who introduced the Gregorian calendar. Also, that's not Pope Gregory. That's John Oliver photoshopped onto a different pope altogether. John Oliver doesn't have anything to do with April Fool's Day, but doing a riff on his popular bit was just too much fun to pass up, and having fun is exactly what April Fool's Day is all about. Except it wasn't at first. When the new calendar was introduced, information didn't travel as quickly as it does today, so farmers and people living on the outskirts of society didn't hear about it right away and became the original April Fools. Unaware that New Year's Day was now January 1st, many would take to the streets on April 1st to celebrate, blissfully unaware that more woke people were shaming them on Twitter. "Look at these April Fools! New Year's was so 3 months ago!" My friend at literally lives under a rock hadn't heard about the new calendar. What a hashtag April Fool. Of course, not all April Fools were ignorant. Many refused to accept the new calendar because resisting new rules and regulations from the foolish authorities is a human tradition and one worth continuing. But as time went on, resistance wore down to reluctance and grew into acceptance, and somehow, the tradition of playing pranks and practical jokes on April 1st was born. In fact, a common celebratory prank in those early years was simply to show up at your friend's house uninvited for a New Year's party, pretending that you were an April Fool in order to impose upon them. Today, that's hardly a prank, it's more of a heinous, unforgivable crime against humanity. Never go to anyone's place without texting first, and unless they know to expect you, texting, "I'm outside your door," is grounds for murder and self-defense. Some April Fool's Day pranks of note include a BBC segment from 1957 that showcased the glorious Swiss spaghetti harvest. After it aired, hundreds of viewers phoned in seeking seeds to grow their own spaghetti trees or asking where to watch the spaghetti harvest live. Unfortunately, the only place to do so, or to grow spaghetti trees for yourself, is in the famously neutral Swiss climate. In 1998, Burger King took out a full-page ad in USA Today to promote the new left-handed Whopper, which featured ingredients that were rotated 180 degrees. The hoax advertisement worked as thousands of customers ordered the special version of the classic burger. And that trend of corporations getting in on the fun of April Fool's Day has continued. Here in 2017, we celebrate with fewer jokes among friends. Instead, we share cheeky parody advertisements and publicity stunts created by international ad agencies to activate social media influencers through synergized digital marketing campaigns to promote quirky, inoffensive add-ons or modifications for popular products and services that are easily identifiable as both false and funny. So shareable, much positive brand recognition. Wow! Of course, it is easier to complain as traditions change, to long for simpler times of whoopee cushions and joy buzzers. But life is too strange and beautiful to stay angry. As the calendar changes, so will our culture, and for many years to come, April Fool's Day will continue to remind us to not take life too seriously. After all, nobody gets out alive. So keep on laughing at the world, at the times, and most importantly, at ourselves. Because thankfully for all of us fools, laughter is still free. Mostly. April Fool's Day. It's no joke. Hey everyone, thanks for watching the first episode of No Joke, my new monthly web series that investigates the comedy of knowledge and my limited knowledge of comedy. If you like the video in the spirit of April Fool's Day, why don't you give it a share? You can also subscribe. I'll have a new episode of No Joke for you on May 1st, and I'm hoping to launch another web series in the meantime. You can also connect with me all over social media. I'm at Ajay Fry everywhere, and I'll see you in the future.